fucking tiger in a bathroom, dude. I was like, what the fuck's going on, bro? This guy's blasting people left and right. I'm like, what the fuck am I reading here? This is crazy. You need to read it, all right? Just perfect. Why don't you fucking kill the kid, bro? I thought this story was just so good. Hi, I'm a considered wannabe, and the 7th book I read from Stephen King is Skeleton Crew. As you know, Skeleton Crew is a collection of short stories minus The Mist, which is a novella, and is his 2nd collection of short stories in his career. You get to go in Stephen King's mind and just explore what he's thinking about. And I thought that this collection was really, really good. With some absolute bangers. In my opinion, the 2 stories that you should absolutely care for are, of course, The Mist and The Jaunt. Let's get into it. I mean, growing up, I watched The Mist, the movie, but I never read it, so I knew the general principle of humans in a grocery store fighting for their life against some extra different dimension monsters that'll just kill you if you go out in the mist, right? And this is just what I'm looking for as a reader. Humans versus monsters against the unknown. Very Lovecraftian, eldritch horror kind of stuff, because humans don't really know how to process what the hell they're looking at, and they're trying to do the best they can given the circumstance. I thought this story was just so good, and the gore, the blood, the initial horror of like when people realize that like, oh fuck, there's actually monsters out there, the mystery of what's going on. It's just so good. My only gripe is the ending a little bit, because it's like you don't really get resolution, which is fine. You don't have to get resolution, especially for a novella. Like this could have gone on forever. I was hoping for a little bit more, a bit different, because watching the movie, the ending was very, very different from the book. You know, but overall, I give the story a 9.5 out of 10. I would be lying to myself if I said, wow, this is a perfect book. A perfect novella. I wouldn't change it at all. But the ending definitely left me a little bit disappointed. But overall, everything else was just so freaking good, man. Like, it has to be at least a 9 in my eyes. So 9.5 just feels about right. And The Jaunt. Stephen King, dude, like, this story to me is the best one. It's the best one, all right? I used to read a lot of science fiction growing up, specifically the Halo books. My boy, you know, the lore in Halo, pretty insane compared to the games. And this was perfect. Time travel, teleportation, that sort of thing. That's what Stephen King unpacks in The Jaunt. And the ending, man. The ending is just crazy. Like, you know, you have this dad talking to his family about the whole jaunt, and then you have the absolute freaking right hook by Stephen King when his son, when the main character's son decides to hold his breath in, and you only find out that he did it once the main character wakes up and he's in a daze, he's in a confused state, and then he sees this gremlin looking character that looks like a mixture of Caillou and freaking Gollum from Lord of the Rings, and he's screaming, "Longer than you think, Dad." Then he freaking, you know, rips his fucking throat out. Like, Jesus Christ. Dude, I was fucking camping when I was reading this book, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna sleep tonight. You know, like, I did, but you know, holy shit, that was crazy. But yeah, well, I mean, fuck, dude. Like, one thing that like Stephen King doesn't shy away from is like the death, bro. Like in The Jaunt, he's just like, you know what, man, we're just gonna fucking kill the kid, bro. Just max horror, max shock value. The kid, gone, eliminated. And I remember where I was. I was camping on the west coast of British Columbia. I'm looking out into the ocean, and I'm just reading this story, and I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? So that was crazy. 10 on 10. Just 10 on 10. This is my first 10 on 10 book, 10 on 10 story I gave from Stephen King. It's just amazing. You need to read it, all right? Just perfect. What else do we got here? The Monkey. I gave that story a 7 on 10. I thought it was very Goosebumps, like R.L. Stine. Feels like he wrote this book. While I thought it was good, I just felt it slightly tacky with like the whole monkey with the symbols. I was like, okay, yeah, you know, but it's great. You know, it's a good story overall. And The Raft, very different vibe. Reminds me of just like a college plot with characters that are, you know, in college and university. They want to, you know, their pent up sex addiction. They're like, fuck, let's go out and freaking swim. And then you never know what happens afterwards. But then they actually all just fucking die from some like black blob that eats people. You know, that's not bad. That's cool. Again, Stephen King does some good stuff. I thought it was nice for story. 7 on 10. The Wedding Gig, you know, I'm Italian. I'm not related to any mafiosos, despite what people think. You know, it was great. Very like a jazz, blues vibe here. Freaking mafiosos, and Irish, Greeks, Italians. Just great vibes all around. 7 on 10. I actually laughed at the Greek. I thought that was funny. That was a good story as well. Cain Rose Up, like a school shooting thing. I haven't read Rage yet, and I know that people are saying that, you know, Rage is, you know, messed up, but since it's out of print. But like, I'm like reading this little quick little niblet of a story, and this guy's blasting people left and right. And I'm like, what the fuck am I reading here? This is crazy. I thought that was kind of scary, and I gave that like an 8 on 10 just because of like the shock factor of like, you know, this was written back in the day, but like, fuck, bro. Nowadays. Word Processor of the Gods. I wish the Word Processor of the Gods lasted longer. Now I get it, the machine broke, the guy, you know, he overused it, but yeah, that was cool. Reminds me a lot of Fair Extension from Full Dark No Stars. I thought it was really fun to see, yeah, you like delete stuff from like the word processor, and it completely removes it from the world, and just how like the main character was unhappy with his life and like became delusional. Like, yeah, it was good. 7 on 10, just a solid story. The Man Who Would Not Shake Hands. You know, I thought that would, I was like, the vibe really cool, like this like debonair room with like brick and like a fireplace and men drinking whiskey around a poker table. Is like, the vibe is great. And then I just find out this guy went to India, and then he's like, oh, I just can't fucking touch anybody. I'm like, ah. It was like 6 on 10. I was like, okay, it's kind of cheesy, but you know, the vibe, the atmosphere was fantastic. The stories, the characters were really interesting. It's just the plot didn't really go anywhere for me. Another one, it was just kind of like whatever. Beach World, just very different, you know, sci-fi. You're going out to some planet with just sand. Again, it just felt like Stephen King just like threw a bunch of shit at a wall, and he's like, ah, yeah, it's okay. You know, he just threw a bunch of shit on the wall, and I'm like, okay, no problem. Survivor Type was fun. I think, again, I found it was good. Not something that I like would read normally, but seeing this doctor's like descent into madness, like he's like very quantitative thinking. He's like, okay, I know what I gotta do. Gotta try to stay alive, try to get food. But after he doesn't get food, he starts going a little bit crazier. And he's like, okay. He makes a decision to cut off his leg after he like fucks it up from like trying to catch a bird. And then eventually he just starts eating more of himself to survive. And then you can just see ladyfingers. Like, I'm never gonna look at ladyfingers again. You know, I thought it was good. I thought it was a good story, but you know, I gave that a 7 on 10. I thought that was a fun one. The Ballad of the Flexible Bullet. Now that one was, I thought that was a good story. I gave that one an 8 on 10. I liked, you know, a bit cheesy at times with the whole like little leprechaun looking fuckers. But I thought it was a good story. I really liked that descent into madness kind of thing. The lunacy about like technology and like the wires. And you can definitely see this character just like being like, fuck, I don't want to be next to electricity. Can't make me think properly. It's good, man. And I know a lot of people like The Reach. but I just didn't connect with it. I didn't care about the old lady. I just didn't care about it all that much. I gave that like a 4 on 10. It was just, it was like, okay, you know, fucking granny's watching everybody wither away, but she's still alive. And then she gets to like reconnect with her husband or something like that. And I'm just like, okay. I just felt myself not really paying attention that much reading the story. I just kind of glossed over some of the words, and I'm like, I'm a completionist. I gotta finish it. I'll get it done, but not for me. 4 on 10, leave it at that. We do have to talk about the Castle Rock stories. You know, I read these after Cujo, obviously, because of the timeline type of thing. Very mid stories. Nona was like all right with like the whole the lady that captivated the man. I was like, it's fine. The whole rat thing at the end was like, all right. It was fine. I gave it a 5 on 10. Mrs. Todd's Shortcut. Again, the vibe very interesting. The whole atmosphere interesting. But very neutral on it. I gave it a 5 on 10. It's like, it's cool that that girl was able to like find what seems to be like a wormhole or something. You know, that's interesting, you know? But again, the plot was very, very small. So leave it at that. Grandma was cool because she was like a witch, and you have that kid just scared to be with his grandmother. You know, that was interesting vibe. I found it a bit tacky with the whole like aunt calling him at a specific point, like she knew. I was like, I'm not a big fan of like these coincidences of like he just got saved just in time. It's like, I'm not a fan of that trope. But overall, it was still scary when he had to go see whether his grandmother was dead or not. So I gave that a 7 on 10. Yeah, I thought the best one was Uncle Otto's Truck. Gave that a 7 on 10 as well, but I just enjoyed it a lot. Like this whole thing about like being haunted by like his partner's truck. Like, and then he, at the end, the main character, the other character sees, you know, finds the old guy just completely filled up with oil and stuff. And it's like, did that actually happen? Did he drink him himself? Like a bit of a mystery kind of thing. You know, the vibe was good. You know, the vibe was good of this book. And then there were like, you know, some of the other ones that I didn't care about. The Milkman, neutral, like whatever. The Here There Be Tigers, just, that wasn't good. Like the kid fucking tiger in a bathroom, dude. I was like, what the fuck's going on, bro? Like get kind of whatever. The poems, fuck. The poems, I didn't care. I didn't care about that. What else didn't I care about? That's it. Everything, the stories really were either mid or great or fantastic in some cases, but a lot of mid stuff. But enjoyable to read, enjoyable to just pass the time and have a chill read. So I did a weighted average on all the books based on page length, and I give this book a 7 on 10. Some really good stuff, some mid stuff. You should definitely read it for some stories, but 7 on 10 for this book. Let me know what you thought about Skeleton Crew as a collection of short stories. Which one was your favorite? Which ones were your least favorites? And let me know if I'm wrong about some or you agree on some of my opinions. Again, it was really fun to read, and hopefully you thought the same. Stephen King, forever.